UFC Vegas 54. There's 3 more fights I want to talk to you guys about. Let's see what we got. All right, what's going on, everybody? This your boy CeeLo. I'm here to talk to you guys about 3 fights I like in UFC Vegas 54. If you want to check out my latest video, I talked about one of my favorite fights in this card, Manuel Torres versus Frank Camacho. I give you a full breakdown on that fight in my previous video below. So, without further ado, let's get into this card, UFC Vegas 54. Before we get into all of that, let's get all the boring stuff out of the way. If you like my content, if you like these videos, please leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. And without further ado, let's get into this card, man. We got UFC Vegas 54, Jan Blachowicz versus Alexander Rakic, light heavyweight bout. Again, these are 2 big boys going at it, 2 big, heavy. They could be heavyweights if they put on a little bit of size, man. I mean, Rakic is a lengthy fighter. Blachowicz looks like a heavyweight and, has power like a heavyweight as well. But let's talk about these fights I was talking to you guys about. There's 3 fights I really like. Like previously mentioned, I did talk about Manuel Torres and Frank Camacho in a separate video. But let's get into this, man. Here we go. We're going to go down to the prelim headliner, Viviane Araujo and Andrea Lee. The reason I like this fight is because it's going to be a good showing. It's a good step up for both ladies, man. As we sit right now, they're pretty much even odds. You have Andrea Lee minus 120. You have Viviane Araujo plus 100. It's gonna be a good fight, man. This flyweight division needs a little bit of clarity as far as contenders go, because there ain't nobody gonna stop Valentina Shevchenko. But back to this fight, we have 2 ladies that are good step up in competition. I feel it's about right where the line is at. But Andrea KGB Lee, 13-5 fighter. We might be a little bit biased because in this channel we like our Texas fighters, we like our Mexican fighters, and Andrea Lee, man, a Texas born. She's a grinder, man. This is what we discussed in another video where we have our Texas heart, our Mexican heart. We have our fighting spirit within us. But Vivi Araujo, man, Brazilian fighter, not too young, 35 years old, in the flyweight division. Aggressive fighter, man. She's one of those fighters that I like to call first round fighters, because in the first round, she's throwing heavy kicks, heavy punches, and applying the pressure. But the reason I like this fight is because, again, it's going to give some clarity in the flyweight division. These are 2, slowly creeping contenders. They've had ups and downs in the UFC. But ultimately, even at these odds, at near even odds, we're going to go with Andrea KGB Lee. I like her to grind out a decision. She looked great in her last fights. One that I can remember was her and Cynthia Calvillo. Her Mexican fighters. I was really heavy on Calvillo because I just thought Andrea Lee wasn't gonna be able to keep up with her. Because Cynthia Calvillo has some crisp striking. But back to this fight, Andrea Lee has shown her grappling. She's shown a little bit of her upside when it comes to sticking to game plans. She's shown a little bit of grappling. She's shown a little bit of striking, but I feel like she's putting it well. She's putting it all together well. And again, Vivi Araujo, no joke, man. She has some power. She can crack. She has that pressure. But I think it's Andrea Lee's time. I think we're seeing her improve every time she gets in that octagon. And I feel like she's going to come out and possibly inside the distance. I think either the second round, like I said, Vivi Araujo will come out in the first round, pretty strong. She might look like the better fighter in that first round. Andrea Lee more of a patient fighter. So give me Andrea Lee, second round, third round, maybe decision, but ultimately at these even odds, near even odds, we're gonna go with Andrea KGB Lee to get the win this Saturday, man, and hopefully put a little bit of clarity in this flyweight division. We need to see a clear-cut contender. If whoever, let's say Andrea Lee comes out and stops Vivi Araujo, she might not be far off from a title shot. So both of these ladies have something to show for. They both want to prove that they got what it takes to go against the big dogs. So give me Andrea Lee, second round, third round, maybe a decision win, but Andrea Lee moneyline at -120. We're gonna take it all day. So let's move on to our next fight that we want to talk to you guys about. We're gonna go to another women's fight, man. In the main card, we got Chookagian and Amanda Hebas. The main reason why I like this fight is because we've seen what Chookagian has done. Caitlin, blonde fighter, Chookagian. As we speak right now, she's a slight favorite at -150. And Amanda Hebas a slight underdog at +125. And the main reason is because this fight is happening at flyweight. Amanda Hebas is, in my opinion, is not a flyweight fighter. She's a strawweight contender. She's been impressive in the strawweight division, but you're coming up 10 pounds in the flyweight division, and she's already a smaller fighter. She's 5'3". And you got Katlyn Chookagian 5'9". Katlyn Chookagian, in my opinion, is a big flyweight. She could easily be a bantamweight, but we've seen her compete at flyweight and done really well for herself. She's mainly a striker. She likes to keep it at bay. How like we said, she's a big body for the flyweight division, so she uses her boxing, her crisp boxing, her kicks. She's she's in and out. If you've ever seen one of her fights, I feel like she sways the judges a little bit because every strike she's doing one of these like loud action sound effects, if you will. But back to this fight, we got Katlyn Chookagian as a slight favorite. I feel like she should be a little bit heavier favorite, but we'll take these odds all day, man. Katlyn, blonde fighter, Chookagian by decision. It's going to be my official pick. And Amanda Hebas is going to put up a fight. She, up a weight class, and being the smaller fighter. And Katlyn Chookagian just has high fight IQ, man. She makes you fight her fight. And I think ultimately that's what we're going to see. We're going to see Katlyn Chookagian outstrike Amanda Hebas. I wouldn't be surprised if Katlyn Chookagian takes her down and, or just, in the clinch, puts her weight on Amanda Hebas early and just takes control of the fight. Wherever the fight goes, I think Katlyn Chookagian is going to be in the driver's seat. So give me Katlyn Chookagian by decision. Ultimately, Katlyn Chookagian money line, however she wants to do it, but we're going to go with her. And our last fight that we want to talk to you guys about is going to be our main event. Alexander Rakic and Jan Blachowicz. So we know what Jan Blachowicz brings to the table. Polish power, former light heavyweight champ, and he's a slight underdog, man. That's interesting. Alexander Rakic is correct because he skyrocketed, man. He's up in the ranks. He's been impressive. I think he's going into his prime now. Like I said, he's a long, tall fighter. His height 6'4", identical reach, but I feel like he's even a bigger fighter, man. He looks 6'5", 6'6", and like whenever he puts that weight back on, he feels like a heavyweight. Same thing with Jan Blachowicz. I feel like these two guys can easily be heavyweights. But as we stand, they're the main event for UFC Vegas 54. And we just have, these classic matchups where you have a veteran, established veteran, a former light heavyweight champ, and you have a up-and-coming contender, man, Alexander Rakic. I feel like he could have had a title shot before, but just the way this light heavyweight division has been, we will find some clarity after this fight, especially if the winner of this fight looks impressive. Maybe a finish. Whether it be more than likely we're going to see a knockout, man, because these guys have heavy power. Like I said, they can easily be heavyweights, and they're slinging leather, and one of them lands, and we'll see one of them go to sleep. So we're gonna go with the slight favorite here, Alexander Rakic. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Jan Blachowicz, but just a bigger fan of Rakic, man. He's been looking impressive, and I feel like he will. We've seen the ceiling on Jan Blachowicz, but I think we still need to see the ceiling for Rakic, man. I think he's going to be improving. The younger fighter going into his prime, I think he's going to make a leap in improvement, and he will show that this fight. Again, the taller fighter easily can be the bigger fighter as far as weight goes, but we'll see what happens in the weigh-ins. That's going to be a huge factor, especially in our last fight we were talking about with Caitlin Chookagian and Amanda Hebas. I'm very curious to see that weigh-in. But back to this fight, Alexander Rakic is going to be the pick. He's a slight favorite at -160. I do feel the line will move towards the Jan side, since money did come in on Rakic earlier this week. But here we go, man. Very, very intriguing fight. Exciting main event. I do feel whoever the winner is going to be a knockout. We've said this before, where we think that it's going to be a for sure knockout, and both fighters come out and very tentative, very scared to let the leather go. But we'll see, man. I do think Rakic needs to put a stamp on this division and come out and knock out the former light heavyweight champ. So that's going to be the pick for Stilo Studios, our official picks. We're going to go down with Mr. Rakic in the main event. We're going to take Caitlin Chookagian in this flyweight matchup versus Amanda Hebas. And we're going to take Andrea Lee versus Vivi Araujo. These are going to be our three official picks. And if you saw our previous video where we talked about Manuel Torres and Frank Camacho, you'll get a full breakdown, a full list or a full explanation of why we chose El Loco Torres. And again, guys, I post a lot of this content, or MMA content in general, in my Instagram, and I'll put down the link in the description down below. And so you guys can connect with me. You want to leave a comment, you leave a like, subscribe to this channel, or give me a follow down in the Instagram, and we can talk a little bit more about what are your favorite fights, man. These are my targeted fights for this card. Again, we do have other fighters that are very, very exciting. Our co-main event, Ryan Spann and Ian Cuchalaba. Don't blink in that fight, man. That's all I can say. Do not blink. You got Luis Smoka versus Davey Grant. Luis Smoka, man, I don't know what happened to him, but if he's on, it's going to be an exciting fight. And another fight that I really like, and I'm very intrigued to see what's going to happen, is Michael Johnson and Alan Patrick, man. Michael Johnson, look at this record, 19-17. How is he still in the UFC? Because he's beaten top contenders, but he just can't seem to put it all together. Carlos Candelario and Tatsuro Taira is going to be a huge, intriguing matchup. 8-1 fighter versus an undefeated. Level of competition might not be there, but we'll find out this Saturday. And Nick Maximov and Andrei Petrovsky, if you guys like grappling, if you guys like wrestling, this is going to be your fight, which is why they're going to kick off the fight card. So, again, those were our 3 picks and our plus pick with our Manuel Torres pick. If you want to see the full breakdown, it's a previous video that we had done below. I'm going to put my link for my Instagram as well. And hope you guys enjoy the fights this Saturday. And we'll see you after weigh-ins, because I'm definitely going to make a video after weigh-ins. I want to see how these fighters are looking. I want to see how different our opinions might be. But we'll go from there. All right, so this is your boy CeeLo, everybody. Enjoy the fights this Saturday, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.